Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your bonus reading. This is just a little thank you for you guys showing out during the last zodiac readings. I think you guys had the second most viewed video, so I appreciate it. Let's get into it, Scorpio, because there are some illusions around you that I would like to help you kind of break down, break apart. I think you're kind of in the midst of doing so. You may be realizing or coming up against the kinds of limitations that your perspective is like placing in front of you, and you're trying to work towards them. But let's take a little bit of a look. A lot of them um revolve around resources, and it's interesting because this isn't just talking about finances, but this is talking about like more so people, the kinds of people who, and maybe you are like wanting to create a business or some kind of project where you would need like investors, right, that would then bring actual financial resources. But this is not being aware of the kinds of like seeds that you could plant now because you feel like you don't have access to like everything that you need. This is about allowing yourself to even like network. I think you are so much more likable and personable than you let yourself be, and maybe it's because you just generally in your personal life really value and would rather foster like deep meaningful connections. You would like to have deeper conversations than the kinds that you would need to do to just kind of, I feel like you feel like it's more like schmoozing, but it's not. It's networking. Like you need to be able to just connect with people, be able to do the kind of a meaningless small talk kind of a thing. But because you have like a deeper purpose, I think it's difficult for you to kind of start there. And I think that's a general theme of this reading is like we just need you to start. The depth comes. But this is more feeling like, again, this is kind of like a little bit of a martyr kind of syndrome where you're like there are people around you that can help you, even if it's just advice. There are people around you that have something to offer that is greatly beneficial that you aren't aren't letting yourself like explore, because you're just like, it's not enough. I keep hearing that it's not enough, and maybe you even feel this way about yourself, that it's not enough. Something here is just like you feel like there's not enough, but there is. You just have to let yourself kind of like step into the shallow end first, right? Wade out into the water. And I'm also getting a sense of like you feel like maybe something isn't happening fast enough, but this is because there isn't like I need you to zero in kind of. There isn't such clear focus. There's it might have been in the Aquarius bonus reading, but I could be wrong. That was kind of talking about a little bit of scattered energy. This is feeling like maybe even getting down on yourself, where it's like, oh, but if I had started however many months ago, or when I first got this idea, or if I hadn't let such and such kind of distract me, whatever. And it's like, that's okay. That's fine. We can look at that in terms of wanting to kind of um be aware of certain pitfalls like moving forward. But if you're doing that like incessantly, where you're stopping yourself from starting now because you feel like you should have started sooner, there's no other time that you can start than right now. Do you know what I mean? And then in another however many months in the future, would you prefer that you had started now, or would you like to be in the exact same spot? The time will pass with or without your involvement. You know what I mean? So let's just get moving. Things would again move a lot quicker, and I think obviously like you would be more efficient if you had a little bit of a clearer goal set out. I think right now, whatever it is that you're working towards, you have a sense of what it is you would like to do. You have a sense of what abundance feels like for you, or a sense of what would bring you peace. But this is about just getting specific, getting down to the nitty gritty. Like, what is it? And maybe you have a lot of things around you that are like contributing to the opposite. Like a lot of what you don't want. We need to reorient our perspective and focus on the things that we do want. We're putting so much energy into the things that we feel like we don't have, or the things that we need, but you know what I mean, don't have access to, or whatever, the things that would take too much time, we feel that, to grow. But it's like, no, you need to put the seed in the dirt, and you need to cover it, and you need to water it, and just do that for a little bit. And I think you would be surprised at how fast things grow, right? If you put your time and attention on it, Scorpio. I think you are connected to something here that is like wanting to move things at a quicker pace if you would just allow it. Um, I see you have a kind of goal about this is wanting to feel, I'm getting like inside feeling more confident, feeling more sure, being ready to take that action. Also being like seeing yourself more as the leader that you are. I think a lot of people tend to look to you as some type of leader, someone who like gets things done. And it's interesting because this is kind of where like the perspective is getting in your way, because the way that others view you is a lot more clear than you see yourself in this regard. Like this is one area where I will say like you should listen to what the people around you are saying about you, because I think if you ask the people around you just in your life, whether this is in your career, whether this is your family, whether if you're in a romantic relationship, whatever, but like people that you are regularly around view you as someone that has their shit together, as someone who, if they need to get something done, you will handle it, or if you can't handle it, you will help them handle it. um you're very passionate. I think they're, you know what I mean? Like people around you see you as a leader. And I think at times that intimidates you because you're like a leader. Like, what the hell do I know? You know a lot. You actually have a lot to offer, so much to offer. And even I am not often guided to kind of take a peek at the bottom of the deck. I usually just don't touch the cards once I have the reading out unless I need to clarify. But the King of Cups is also at the bottom of the deck. So I think you were someone, you have so much like, people feel safe around you in so many very important ways, and I just think that you don't view yourself in that way as like a true, a resource is the word that's coming up again, but you know what I mean, like someone that is valuable to people in so many ways. Like you are the type of person that should be a leader, especially if you're the kind of person that's like, oh, I don't want any kind of power. Like you're the type of person that would hold that with integrity. You would hold that position and it really means a lot to you, which is why you're hesitant to step into that role fully, because you have a greater understanding truly of what it means when you have people that depend on you and you have people that look to you and that, you know, are going to you for help in whatever realm you find yourself wanting to help people in. I am actually going to pull a quick clarifier on the subconscious influence, because I'm seeing that this, whatever this endeavor is healing, but in a way that isn't super clear right now, because there's so much, it seems like chaos happening around you. It feels like things are not very stable. It feels like things that should be solid are kind of being uprooted. I'm getting to, and a lot, this is a lot of just like things from your past, things from your past that are coming up, or I'm more so getting things that you feel like you had a grip on that were in one way or another kind of, I feel like you felt like the rug was ripped from under you. This is like kind of feeling like you had a grasp on something and it turned out to not be at all what it was. um this would have been something again that you had to walk away from for your own, like your own emotional well-being. Something just was not working out, but this is something that you're like holding against yourself very strongly. This is like a deep sense of regret and almost like a shaming of like, I should have known better. And that's not helpful at all. And that's lending into you kind of having these insecurities around being a leader, because you're like, God, if I was so misled and I was so sure of this but it was not that, how can I be sure that I'm not doing that to other people? You can't do that. You cannot do that to yourself. Also, you're meant to be in community with people who like can help check you and can help keep you on course and can help reflect back to you, you know, anything that you may need help with in that way. But this is about opening back up to that and not allowing yourself to be so, stop being so hard on yourself. This is a lot of like internal shaming that is not helpful at all. In fact, it's very much like obscuring the light that you have to give. Because again, in the past, I'm seeing that there was maybe something that and again, I feel like your perspective is that it was a failure, that something that seemed like really great. I'm just getting like on paper, it was really great, but it didn't actually turn out to be that. This is something that should have been like comforting and something. I'm just getting something that felt safe that was not actually, it turned out to be, you know. Um and I think too, like part of the shaming that's happening is like there was a kind of going back and forth where it's like you weren't completely sold on this thing, and maybe that will help you in the future, like kind of calibrate what you do and don't want to move towards is like the things that you're meant to have in your life, and the way that you should be motivated is through your passion, and is through like a very extreme, I'm getting like emotional pull. Like I feel like if you aren't 100% sold on something, if you aren't fully immersed, if it isn't something that truly like moves your spirit and like feels like it's a soul calling, you shouldn't be moving towards it. This is if it's people, this is if it's work situations, this is just like general life situations. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you aren't 100% in, if you aren't buying in, then you just, I don't think, should move towards it. So I think, again, if there's some type of shaming going on, this is more like I knew that I should, like, it's one of those, and it's like, it's okay. Now you know to trust that. Now you know to trust yourself. Okay. Moving forward, I see you taking the steps necessary. And again, this is about kind of looking again at like where are my thoughts taking me? How are they helping me? How are they not? Um, this is about also allowing yourself to be excited about things again. I think you're almost like untrusting of things that seem like they're really good, like too good to be true kind of a thing. Um you could be called toward, I'm getting some mother wounding being brought up, like a lot of these things, maybe you, as you move forward and unpack kind of your feelings about the things that are nagging you right now, like it will bring us to some type of mother wounding, and there's like some work, um some shadow work involved there. But generally this is like getting clearer on your feelings about a lot of aspects of life, honestly, are being brought up right now. um and this is about just kind of sitting with that, allowing yourself to sit with that, being brought back to, again, like allowing yourself to just feel joy in ways that maybe you don't think are like necessarily constructive. And this is just like letting yourself be. um you might be the type, Scorpio, where it's like if you feel like something isn't productive, you just won't let yourself do it. Like I'm getting like you feel like a lot of things are a waste of time. They're not a waste of time. I think letting yourself like just enjoy things, enjoy, if you have some type of like artistic inclination, we have the 7 of cups here, like this is letting yourself just do that in some kind of like childlike wonder. It doesn't have to result in anything. It doesn't have to necessarily mean anything except just letting yourself, express joy. All right, the oracle that I just pulled for you, Scorpio, is number 44. It says always settle for more. And let's see what it has to say. Okay. It says what you believe you are worth comes from early programming. Look at that. You didn't make that program, but you can remake it. Take out the old software that says you are limited in scope and should be functional and realistic with your dreams. Once you're willing to befriend uncertainty and failure, you are free to recognize your soul is unlimited and you have the power to tap that potential through your choices. You can settle for less or settle for more. The effort is the same. Alrighty, that's all I got for you, Scorpio. If you liked this reading or if it resonated at all, feel free to drop a like or a comment. I really do love hearing from you guys and it helps me out. And if you want to know next time I post a reading, you can hit that subscribe button and you can hit the bell if you want to be actually notified when the reading goes up. But that is all I have for you guys. I hope to see you next time. Thanks for being here. Bye.